Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. And also keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Lastly, I'll be looking at the comments and responding for the next 3 hours after this video is released. If you want to chat, but you couldn't get your comment in within that time frame, feel free to reach out to me on Twitter. I'll put that in the description below, or email me. Thanks. All right, we're about a half hour after market close on Monday, August 9th. We're going to take our daily look at SoFi. A couple of quick things. One, yes, every trading day I do a video on SoFi. So if you are a big consumer of SoFi info and you want to stay up to date, please subscribe and hit the alerts. And also, tomorrow's video, I will obviously go over the chart, but after the chart tomorrow, I'm going to share a bunch of answers that have come my way from SoFi Investor Relations and inside legal counsel, legal counsel internal to SoFi. And so a bunch of stuff has come my way on Friday and then again today. And so I'm going to put that together in a consumable way and share it in tomorrow night's video. So that'll be the second half of the video tomorrow night. Obviously, the first part of the video will be looking at the chart. So in tonight's video, I'm just going to stay focused on the chart, and then we'll take a quick look at Ortex just to clear up a couple of things and call it a video. So it should be a relatively swift video, comparatively speaking. But great day today with SoFi. I mean, it could have been a much better day, right? So we were up nicely at open and then had a really tough turn, but did get picked up by that 1664 support zone that we had plotted and caught there and was able to kick off. So that's good to see. We zoom out here to the 5-day. We can also see a bunch of these things coming into play, but you see it got stuck here at that 1664, and now that it's getting caught 2 trading days in a row, that's a really good sign to see. Plus, this was essentially like a double bottom out in that same range. So good to see, in my opinion, and then close out the day making higher highs. So to the extent to which there's, a run up here to earnings, this could be sort of leading the charge for that. I think the other thing is, I don't mind if there's not a huge run up to earnings. Now, I did put some call options in place that you would know if you've been watching my videos, sort of looking for a run up to earnings and to take the profit on those call options based on a run up. But if that doesn't happen, I will still feel pretty solid about it because I do expect good earnings. There will be some info on that in tomorrow night's video because some stuff that came from investor relations relates to earnings. And if we do have a really great earnings, which is what I'm expecting, then I think that this allows for potentially a really good run up from the earnings call itself, meaning if there's a big run up prior to earnings, the expectation, so much is going to be priced in, right? That's what happens a lot of times when there's big run ups leading to earnings, and then you have good earnings or you have on par earnings and the stock price still just gets crushed. That's oftentimes because of that run up priced in so much good news that then when the news comes out, folks are kind of like, okay, so what's the right number here? Or another thing that could happen, obviously, is if the earnings and expectations are generally met, but the guidance has something wacky about it, that could obviously cause a sell-off even after good earnings report. So SoFi's case, I expect earnings to be generally positive, and I expect the guidance to be very strong, just given the sort of like life cycle that it's in at the moment. So that's how I'm looking at it. And if I don't make anything phenomenal from those options that I bought for run-ups, then I'll sort of make a decision on Wednesday of whether or not it seems like it makes sense to hold through earnings or not. But the IV crush that could happen with the options typically makes that no bueno. So we'll see. I'll share with you all what I decide to do in Wednesday or Thursday's video, because I may hold on to them Thursday because earnings is after market close, I believe, on Thursday. But double check that. All right, so anyway, the chart here, we're establishing now over this 1664, today's candlestick, which is great to see, and definitely now even boosting up over this purple upward trend line that we were charting, that we're saying all of these candlesticks were adhering to. And now from where it closed today, it's actually up over this green trend line, which was charting where it was topping out. So that was where the tops were following, and this is where the bottoms were following. So now, if it's establishing support where it previously was hitting resistance in terms of like an upper trend line, then that's an additional elevating factor in my mind. Now, on the indicator side of things, MACD continuing this bullish crossover that we called out way back here when it started, and this is what we were waiting for in those days, right? It was in the purple bounce zone, it was looking like it was going to cross over, and then we just needed the crossover to kind of become real, meaning that it didn't just sort of like head fake us, kind of like this green area did here. That was kind of a head fake, right? It looked like it was going to bullish crossover, but then it didn't, and it waited for another couple of days. But then we got the true crossover, and we'll see. But right now, it's still playing out very, very nicely. Has a lot of room to run, still sitting below the baseline. So a lot of meat on that bone, as I find myself saying too frequently. But we're also establishing over the midline here on the RSI. So this is a thing that I've been tracking for several days lately, is this run up to the midline, because as we know, the midline on the RSI can be quite dangerous, just meaning if it can't establish over the midline, it's typically going to get pushed down back toward or through oversold, which would obviously completely squash this attempted bullish run that we're seeing at the moment. What we'd rather see is a nice move over and above this mid-range here, and then that will unlock the opportunity for it to run over 70, aka overbought, which would be phenomenal to see. And then the MAs still support with the 20 MA sitting well underneath now the price action. 50 is closing in. So if we do make an attempt at this like $17.91, aka $18 level, I expect that this 50 is going to be pretty close to that same point. Like, I think those things are going to sort of all come to a head. If the price action can get up there, I think the 50 will be right about in line with it. And if that's the case, then that could provide additional resistance in the short term. And of course, if it can overcome that resistance, then it will become even stronger support once the price establishes over that level. So that's what I'm going to be looking for in the coming days. What happens if and when that 50 meets up with that 1791 level, and if the price action is right there, what does that sort of like unleash? But that to me is the chart at the moment. Best signs are from the MACD, from the RSI, and obviously we have support with the 20 MA underneath the price action right now. Of course, if we can get over that 50 MA, then we have an additional elevating factor and could really help us carry the price point up pretty significantly. And quickly with the data, I still see stuff coming in about short interest. I don't think there's anything to it. You do see almost a 50% increase in short interest today, estimated by Ortex. But with that increase, it just brings the percentage of the free float that's being shorted to just over 1%, which is not going to in any way, shape, or form effectuate a short squeeze. Nothing like that is in play here, in my opinion. Utilization is also just over 5%. Cost to borrow, 1.24. None of those factors line up. Now, if we do see a big run up through earnings, then I could certainly see shorts starting to come in quite strongly. And with the big increase in the float, which numbers on that are going to be part of tomorrow night's video, because that's some of the response that we got from investor relations. With there being so much of availability, I think that it does sort of lend itself to shorts potentially coming in quite hot and heavy if there is, a seemingly, overextended run up through earnings. At this point, I wouldn't really say prior to earnings, because I don't think that we have enough time for us to really see like, plus 10% days or something like that. I could be wrong, but last time that we saw something like that, we just then lost all of it and then a little bit more. So I'm more happy with this type of a run up, like I've been saying, than with this type of movement, because this often then has the backlash of this. But yeah, just keep in mind, that's the situation with the shorts. I don't think that there's much to it. And then They have this Liberty Street Advisors thing, which I think was in my Friday video, maybe my Thursday video, whichever one I was talking about part 2 of the Weird World. I call out that they have taken, by their standards, a big stake in SoFi, meaning it's a large percent holding for them as it pertains to their overall fund or portfolio. All right, well, that will do it for this one. I hope you enjoyed the trading day. It definitely keeps us on our toes, but I'm glad to see that we were able to recover and bounce off that 1664 level again. Hopefully we don't have to test it a third time tomorrow, but obviously we'll see what happens. We never quite know. All right, well, I hope that you have a good trading week ahead, and I will see you in the next video.